to all the listeners of the Modern Farming Podcast. We're back here with another episode brought to you by the Green Gene Foundation, where we cultivate agricultural excellence every day through education.
We're your hosts, Chris and Tara, and together we're growing knowledge about the world that feeds us.
An exciting podcast today. Tara, we have Miss Linda Smock, who is a retired education teacher, a master gardener, a farmer, and an author of books, children's books, and high school books. So we're going to hear a little bit about her story today. So, Linda, tell us a little bit just about yourself and what you've done through education.
Well, as you mentioned, I was a teacher. I taught high school home economics, and then I became a curriculum supervisor and worked as a specialist in home economics and vocational education for 21 years. Became a principal Christian elementary school, and then retired again and started writing additional books. I had written textbooks previously. I also became a master gardener and do a lot of volunteer work in the county in which I live.
Sounds like you had a really busy education career. It sounds like you started with textbooks and then rolled into some other kind of books. So what's the difference between what you did as a career and what you're doing now?
The difference in what I did as a career and what I'm doing now is the amount of fun I'm having. The books I'm writing now, the children's books especially, are just a tremendous amount of fun. And they educate, but the children don't know they're learning, and they don't know the purpose is education. With textbooks, the children, the students know that the purpose was education. So the attitude is different.
What drove you to start writing books? I mean, I know you were doing the textbooks, but where did you see the need?
Well, during COVID, I was also going through chemotherapy for a form of leukemia, which had attacked my immune system and pretty much destroyed it. So I was very, very isolated, and I needed something to do. So I decided that it was time to write devotional books. I had said for a long time that one of these days I was going to write devotional books. So I did, and I wrote 5. Then I wrote an essay for a writing group, and the response to the essay was, that needs to be a children's book. So I sat on that idea for about a year and decided, all right, it's time to do it. So I turned it into a children's book, and I haven't stopped since.
What was the name of the first children's book?
Just Call Me Honey. It starts with, hi, my name is Betsy B. You can just call me Honey. That's what my mama does. She's the queen.
I love it.
That is so sweet.
I love it. It was all about honeybees. Okay, interesting. So are all your books about different kind of science and
Yes.
farming?
They are all scientific personification. They are in first person. Personification is in first person, just as I started Just Call Me Honey there. In first person, hi, my name is Betsy B. They all are written from the perspective of the thing I'm writing.
Okay.
And then scientific means it's correct. All the information is there. Now, some of them also include a little bit related to creation or to God in some way. Some do not, depending on how it just naturally flows.
I got a chance to look over one of your books, and I think they are so cute. And I love the illustrations too. Do you do those yourself?
No, I do not do the illustrations myself. I was blessed. I went online and found Jennifer Singer in Michigan. And she and I have a wonderful working relationship, and she has done all 7 of my books.
Okay.
And sometimes I also add photography. 2 of the books currently include photography, and the next one I'm working on includes photography so that they see the real creature. GT, the gopher tortoise, is about the gopher tortoise, which has just been declared endangered, critically endangered. And so we included photographs so that children would see the creature, not just see the art.
What inspires you when you go to write a book on what animal you're going to talk about in that book?
It started, of course, with the honeybee, and I was just fascinated by them. My dad had had them when I was growing up, and so I wrote that essay and then wrote the book. Then my master gardening experience has really tapped in here. My farming experience has tapped in. And so I've written about things that I know something about, but that I want to know more about myself and want to educate others about.
Okay, so you mentioned Master Gardener. So tell us a little bit about your Master Gardener activities that you've got.
Well, as a master gardener, I coordinate the Speakers Bureau for Pinellas County. I get speakers for any organization that would like to have a speaker. Currently, we're working with about 25 groups, including garden clubs, local homeowners associations, libraries, etc. And we provide speakers for them on about 50 different topics. So I coordinate that. I do political speaking myself as well. And I also do some volunteer work with Botanical Gardens, the Florida Botanical Gardens, which is located in Largo in Pinellas County. So do quite a bit with them as well.
To become a master gardener, is it the classes that you take? Do you have to have a garden on your site that you show, or is it something that you can just take classes for and use a garden at a different area?
You have to take 75 hours of instructional classes, and then you have to give, 60 hours of instructional classes, and then you have to give 75 hours of volunteer service the first year. Thereafter, you get 10 hours of service per year minimum and do 35 hours of volunteer service minimum. It is certified through the University of Florida.
So tell me about your farming experience.
Well, I grew up on a farm and did not want anything to do with farming. So I became a teacher because that was always my heart's desire, was to be a teacher. And then as I matured, I realized that farming was really an important part of our lives, that we cannot live without farm. And my dad decided to pass the farm along to my brother and me. And so I became an owner of a farm. I decided to go with timber, pine trees for the majority of it, though I do rent out about 25 acres that is in rotating crops various years, sometimes peanut. The major reason for rotation, sometimes cotton, sometimes corn, soybeans, etc.
So you grow timber and then harvest it and sell it? Is that your
Correct.
main thing? And is it pine mostly?
It is pine trees, correct. Starting with paper wood and going all the way up to poles for electrical companies and telephone companies, etc.
Back to the children's books, which obviously you've got. So as the master gardener and the coordinator of these speakers, you must gain a lot of information and knowledge as you go through these activities.
Correct. That gives me
and
access
applying
to
them to
books.
books.
Mhm.
Applying them to books. That's really cool. What are your seven? You said you've got 7 books out there now. What are the titles? We had the B one was what? Call Me Honey. Is that what?
Just Call Me Honey, all right. And then the next one after that was Black Eyed Susan and Friends. This is the story of pollination. Black Eyed Susan plays I Spy and spies different insects in the garden and teaches pollination. And then I mentioned GT, the gopher tortoise. So, and then after that came A Letter from White Peacock, the butterfly. I wanted to put some attention on a butterfly that is not the monarch. Not that there's anything wrong with the monarch, but we need to know that there's more than one kind of butterfly in Florida. And this is an important one that most of us do not know much about. And then I have Penny the Ant, which are little farmers themselves. Ants are great little farmers. And then Betsy, the Brazilian bat,
Oh
which
wow!
a scientific personification of bats, and she's the mama, and she's just had a baby. Benny, the Brazilian bat, is just out. Actually, his baby shower is going to be on the 15th of this month, and from the 15th of August until the 15th of September, I will be giving $1 per book sale on Amazon to the Luby Bat Conservancy in Gainesville that does a lot of research and a lot of work with bats. Wonderful organization. And I will also be showering baby Benny at Pasadena Community Church craft show here. I will be that day.
Wonderful. It sounds like you have a lot of different ways to give back to the community.
I'm a believer in giving back to the community. Both Washington and Pinellas counties have gifted me with a lot in my lifetime. And so I want to give back.
When you sell books, do you showcase them? You said you go to a craft fair. Do you go to any educational fairs or anything like that?
I, of course, am on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, and some other websites. And I'm at a lot of the local stores, including Barnes and Noble in Clearwater. I'm at most of our county parks. I'm at the Honeymoon Island Nature Center. So a lot of the places that focus on native plants also carry my book. And then I go to educational meetings, to craft shows, to book festivals, whatever is the right opportunity. I go to and share my books with the public. I've not had as much as I want, of course, but yes, there's been success, and I'm hoping to continue and to grow beyond.
So can you tell me what you have in the future plans? You got another book in store? You got another animal? What are you doing next?
Well, I'm changing gears a little bit, and I'm going to be doing a farming topic, currently called Cottontails, TALES, and it's not about rabbit. It is about cotton. Yes, the local 4-H and the local Farm Bureau in Pinellas County are working with me, or I'm working with them, and creating a story that will be used as their curriculum that they offer in the public schools and other places. So I think it's going to be a tremendous amount of fun. It will also be one that includes photographs. So it will not be finished until we finish with photography at the end of the cotton season in Washington County. Christian devotional books are all with idioms. They're called homespun devotion, more homespun devotion, even more homespun devotion. And then I changed gears and did homespun prayers and homespun gratitude. And within the next year, I hope to do homespun joy. Each
So
one of them uses some type of idiom, and I coordinate that with a scripture and then create a devotional, with the exception of the one about prayers, and it's definitely prayers. But the one on gratitude is also devotionals, but it's only things for which we can be thankful, and mostly things we forget to say thank you for, like plumbing and sewage systems and highways. Just things we take for granted. I included blood because I didn't have healthy blood when I was writing it. So I thank God for the 70 plus years I'd had healthy blood. And I'd always thanked him for his blood, but I had not thanked him for my blood.
And what, obviously churches, but what other areas do you promote those books? Is that for like Christian schools and things like that?
Yes, mainly just the public. When I'm at events, Christians come and look at them and buy them.
I would like to learn more about the science behind your books, the children's books, and can you give me a couple of examples of how the science rings true on a children's book?
Okay, let me get Just Call Me Honey here and give you a couple of good examples from it. One of the pages reads, the 8 species of honeybees all make honey. My mama, siblings, and I are Western honeybees. We are domesticated. That means people keep us. We honeybees are not pets. Humans count on us to pollinate plants. They like our honey. They use beeswax. we make. And then there's another page in it that deals with the stages that the honeybee has, all the different things that they do. Here's one. I fly several miles a day. I get hungry. It takes energy to fly. I also carry pollen that weighs about 35% of my body weight. That takes a lot of energy. And there's a question. Let's stop and think for a minute. If you weigh 50 pounds, what is 35% of your weight? Yes, that is 17.5 pounds. That is more than 2 gallons of milk. Could you walk and carry 2 gallons of milk 2 miles? You would have to be very strong.
I love
And
it.
that included math in that one. Some of them do, some of them do not. There's a section on how my sisters and I make honey. And then there's also a section on how they make beeswax. So you see there's so much education in that one book.
And it sounds so fun. It sounds so fun. It doesn't feel like education when you're learning new facts that are fun.
That's the whole aim behind all of the books.
Linda, what would you like the listeners to hear at the end here to take with them from our podcast?
Well, I think one of the most important things for children is that children enjoy learning. And there are so many ways we can make education more fun and therefore more memorable. If we think about ourselves as children, we remember the activities and things we did. We don't remember the teacher teaching us how to read or scientific fact. But we do remember the fun we had. And that is my goal, to make learning fun.
Linda, thank you. That's about all the time we have for our podcast today.
So thanks for listening to the Modern Farming Podcast, and be sure to follow us and join us again as we are growing in the knowledge about the world that feeds us.